The first sale was comedic. We go to this little event called the Fruita Kids Adventure Game. We're setting up and we're so excited. And it's my partner Jay and I, and we're putting up the tent. And this woman comes up and says, "Hey, I need a shirt for my kid." "Oh, okay. Okay, great. Here's $30. And she's like, "Okay, great." And she throws us $30 in cash and walks away. And we were like, "Was that our first sale?" And then we looked at each other and said,
Welcome to the My Wife Quit Her Job podcast. Today, I am happy to have a close friend of the family on the show, Robin Hall. Now, Robin is actually a good friend of my wife's from college, and it was pretty random how this interview got set up. One day, I was listening to the How I Built This podcast, which is actually one of my favorite shows. And I'm like, I think I know this woman. She sounds familiar. I think I went to her wedding, but her name was RJ at the time and not this other Robin. And it turned out to be the Robin. So Robin is one of my wife's favorite people in the world. She started Town Hall Company, an outdoor apparel company that specializes in sustainable clothing for kids. Now, if you've listened to my podcast long enough, you know that I think that selling clothing is one of the most difficult niches to sell into. So today, we're going to delve deep into Robin's story on how she created the company. And unlike the How I Built This interview, which was only 15 minutes long, we have a full 45 minutes to completely delve into her story. So how's it going, Robin? How you doing today?
"It's going great, Steve. Thanks for the warm intro, and great to see you. Great to see you. And
So
hopefully your
yeah,
wife is
it's been,
fantastic too."
I think we were just chatting earlier. It's been almost 20 years since we've last spoke. I'm sure you and Jen have spoken before then, but
Right.
all this time I had no idea you had the company. Did you have it at your wedding or did it come way
No,
after?
no,
Okay.
no. I was straight out of, yeah. I mean, I went to school with your wife at UC Davis, and then moved back down to the Bay Area where I was born and raised, and went to school, or went to straight out of school, went to Gap Inc. and worked at their headquarters in San Francisco, and did finance and inventory with them for years. And then, my husband and I looked at each other and said, if we don't try something new now, we're going to live a mile from our parents for the rest of our lives. So maybe we like the mountains. Let's see what happens in Colorado. And so I got a job at Vail Resorts in Colorado in 2003, and we moved there. Did again back of the house kind of finance and accounting, but always trying to really be involved with the business, and learning all about all sides of the business. And one of those kind of typical ski days where you're putting on your ski jacket, and I was thinking, gosh, I really want to get back to seeing and touching product in my career. So putting on my ski jacket, North Face, where are they? Putting on my pants, Marmot, where are they? Socks, Smartwool, where are they? Oh, Smartwool's in Steamboat. That's not too far from here. And Steamboat Springs is an incredible place. So sure enough, I looked for jobs, got a job at Smartwool, and had an amazing 11-year career there. So was there until 2000 when the brand moved to Denver. And we made the really tough, hard decision, but the right one, to stay in this town. We didn't want to leave Steamboat. It's really, for any of your listeners that know, it's an incredible community and a beautiful place to live. So great place to raise kids. So we stayed here, and that's when we started Town Hall in the year 2000. So it was a nice COVID baby, but it's been great.
So what was the motivation to start Town Hall and why apparel of all things?
Yeah, yeah. So, it kind of came together in this, we're calling it kind of our Venn diagram, where there were three of us. So myself, Jay Lambert, and Joe Solomon. Jay and I worked at Smartwool together, and he was incredible supply chain background and product. And Joe is this amazing entrepreneur who, has his own adventure travel company, and yeah, just a great triangulation of the three of us. And we were putting our heads together, and like, we're all staying in town. We got to do something. What should we do? And it was, we asked ourselves, why are we staying in Steamboat? Well, it's really this community and our kids. We don't want to raise our kids anywhere else, and we want to give back to this community. And what are we good at? There's your answer there. Apparel. I mean, we knew we had great network through our Smartwool days.
Mhm.
Jay is a skilled supply chain guru, and expert at product as well. And we had, again, a great network we could pull from. And then what are we passionate about? And it's playing outside with our kids and being
Yeah.
outside as a family and giving back to the planet and making sure we're not just creating more stuff to create more stuff. So those kind of four things met in the middle: kids, outdoor, community, and planet. And we saw some white space for a kids apparel brand. So we launched.
And then the name of your company is a play on your last name. And is the other owner town, or town literally means town?
No, literally town means town. No,
Okay.
it's certainly we went down there. We had a couple other naming ideas that fell through due to trademarking issues. But we kind of someone said, "Hey, you should use your last name for something." So it was Hallelujah and all those ideas. But Town Hall just hit because it's a community gathering place, the hub where everyone's welcome, to make change and use their voice. So that's been really, really powerful for us.
So a lot of my listeners are very interested in the starting phase of the business. So I want you to go back to like the early days. How much money did you invest in this business, and what was your first product, and how did you come up with it, design it, source it, everything?
Yeah, I think between the three of us to start, I think we put in like 50K. We started with 50K. Anything we could do to literally get logo and branding, our legal setup, and then a very small kind of down payment on our first product line. Then we went down the road of line of credit on the house and all those brutal things you do as a small business owner, which we're still working on navigating out of and around. We're in the middle of a funding raise, which is really exciting.
Oh wow.
Just
Okay, I didn't know
just
that.
as
Crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, kind of a small friends and family safe, and a simple agreement for future equity, and it's going well. We're going to close that up here in the next couple of weeks, and we're getting close to our goal, so that's exciting. um, Go ahead, you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, was your first product a single product, or did you start with like a line?
We wanted to start with a little collection. We
Okay.
said, what do kids in mountain towns need to go outside in the winter? And winter was really resonating with us. And we said, ski jackets. They've got to have a waterproof, durable jacket and pants solution that they can go outside and play in. Then we said, okay, we need a collection. And in fact, we kind of proved this out. A couple of years back, we launched, or maybe 1 or 2 years back, we launched a fleece. Like let's try a warmer weather thing, one fleece. And boy, it just didn't quite resonate. Like it wasn't a big enough story to talk about. It's not like, hey, we're launching into a big spring line with shorts and all these things. No, it just didn't quite resonate. So we went with we needed a collection to round it all out. So we pulled in a puffy jacket, a full 100% down puffy jacket, which has been great. And then we also thought, okay, so not everyone's going to be a mountain town kid. There's kids in Chicago that we want to outfit with our gear, that love to play outside, that are walking to school on freezing days, and then they want to go ski in the weekends. And so what can we build for them? So we built one other, we call it our around town jacket, which is a little less waterproof, those types of things, but extra warm. So 4 pieces in the original line. And yeah, we from a factory perspective, we it was cute. Our co-founder Joe is not traditionally from the industry, so he's not an apparel guy, and he said, so we're making this stuff in Steamboat, right? We're like, well, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but no, I don't think so. And he's like, Colorado, the US, and Jay, the supply chain guru, is like, Joe, there's a reason why $900 ski jackets are made in Asia. They are so good over there. It's, when you find the right partner, they have access to the materials that are all made over there anyway. They have the best production machines. They have skilled labor there. And so we found an incredible partner that was willing to take a shot with us and make kind of below their minimums. We had to pay extra for sure, but
Mhm.
yeah, gave us a shot, and they've been incredible ever since. So it's been
How
neat.
big was your first batch?
Oh gosh, we probably did 200 units of
Wow, that's
each. So
it.
four times
Amazing.
200. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. It was great. It was great.
And then you're going up against like the North Faces of the world, right? So what
Mhm.
sets you guys apart? And like what was your in, so to speak?
Yeah, yeah. A couple things. One is certainly building this for kids. And essentially, we kind of say for kids by kids. We do these things called Kidsumer Insights, where we take a bunch of kids and put them in the park on a blanket with trail mix and lemonade and ask them a million questions. There are little Kidsumers. We ask them what colors they like and where do they want their pockets and what do they keep in their pockets, and what do you think about the planet, and how does your mom shop, and what do you look at on social media? So all sorts of things. So they're informing everything we do. A lot of these outdoor apparel brands do this kind of shrink it and pink it model, where they just take an adult piece, make it smaller, and throw
Right.
some pink
Yeah.
on it or unicorns, and make it for kids. And we are 100% designed for kids and what they need. Durability in all the right spots, those types of things. So, and pockets for the right size hands and gloves. So that's one piece. Certainly the other piece I think we're seeing with consumers a lot is they're shopping kind of more with their hearts. At least our consumers are. They're looking for brands that care, that are giving back, that have unique stories, that are smaller, that are from mountain towns, that know how to make gear for mountain kids. So
Mm.
that certainly sets us apart as well. And we're building this community, kind of one high five and sticker giveaway at a time, and it's been really special.
When you say kids, are you talking about kids under the age of 12 or teenagers also, or
Yeah, 5 to 14 is
5
what
to
we do,
14?
and we're actually, yeah, we're looking at expanding a little bit lower because we're finding, from a business perspective, getting those kiddos into the brand a little bit earlier, and also they need good gear, and there's not a lot of options out there for 3 and 4 year olds.
So you get your first 200 units of each style, so that's 800 units. How did
Yep.
you make your first sale?
Oh wow. Well, the first sale was comedic. We Jay and I were like, we got to make some t-shirts and hats or something, at least to start spreading the love. So we printed all we had a bunch of we partnered with someone amazing in Steamboat to do a bunch of printing, screen printings, and we go to this little event called the Fruita Kids Adventure Games out in the west side of Colorado, and we're setting up and we're so excited, and it's my partner Jay and I, and we're putting up the tent, and this woman comes up and says, "Hey, I need a shirt for my kid." And we're like, "Oh, okay, great. Here, here is $30." And she's like, "Okay, great." And she throws us $30 in cash and walks away. And we were like, "Was that our first sale?" And then we looked at each other and said, "We don't take cash, and we forgot to charge tax." And so we lost money on our first sale. We didn't know what we were doing. It was hilarious. And so it's been that kind of story. It would just make it work ever since. It's like, just make it work. So that was our first real sale. But when it came down to the apparel, and the gear, man, our friends and community in Steamboat just came out of the woodwork, and they a to support us, but then B because they really saw something in the gear, and they knew that their kids helped design the gear. So those initial sales were web sales, and it was our community of 14,000 people here,
Wow.
and then it's just
Yeah.
slowly expanded out and out now.
Nice, nice. Hey, just a quick heads up. Tickets for my annual e-commerce conference, the Seller Summit, are now on sale over at sellersummit.com. If you run an e-commerce business selling physical products, this event was built for you. Unlike typical events filled with broad advice and feel-good stories, the Seller Summit is all about real strategies you can actually use. Every speaker I invite is deep in the trenches, running their own store and dealing with the same challenges you face every single day. Now, we keep the event intentionally small, just 200 people, so it stays intimate, and you actually get time to connect, ask questions, and have meaningful conversations. I've sold out every single year for the past 9 years. And if your store is already doing over $250K or $1 million in revenue, we also run a private mastermind with other top sellers in the space. You can learn more and grab your ticket over at sellersummit.com. Now back to the show. I actually went on your website and looked at the jackets. They are pretty intricate, like to design. I mean, it's like no joke. Walk me through the design process. Is this something that you guys did you have to fly over to Asia? Uh, how involved was the design? And did it involve CAD drawings, tech packs? Do you have that background?
All the above, CADs and
Okay.
tech packs and bills of materials, and yeah, getting down to all the intricacies. Sizing was certainly an issue. Building something kind of to size. Honestly, there are market leaders out there like the North Faces and the Patagonias, and we looked at a bunch of their gear. A couple tactics we took. One is kids, what do you want? Okay, now we've got a visual idea in our minds about what's going to work, and then B, what's already out there, and what do we like from brands and don't like from other brands that are doing things out there. And so we kind of blended art and science there to say, yeah, let's add these features and benefits, and ooh, we really like the fit of this, we don't like this fit. And so again, once we found this factory partner, we found a designer who's incredible, who has an expert in the design pieces and all those features and benefits and materials and fabrics and what zipper pull we want. And Jay is an expert at that as well. And yeah, essentially build those tech packs and then designed with the factory and iterated and did probably 2 to 3 protos, I'd say, prototypes
Okay.
on each of them.
Yeah.
When it comes down to, for your listeners, if they're curious, it comes down to it, we pay for that. We pay for the sampling and all that. It goes kind of into the bill, the price of your jackets and everything. So yeah, we iterated, but it went really well. Went really well.
So was the designer part of the factory, or did you find your own designer?
We found our own designer. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know when you work with a factory, sometimes like the file formats and all that stuff is can be different across factories. Was your designer, had they worked with that factory before?
They hadn't
Oh,
worked with
okay.
that factory. Our factory is very reputable. They do a bunch of other brands in the industry, which has been really great. But no, it's this, we believe in the partnership business model where we're not just sending over a PO and then writing a check and we're done. We share our behind the scenes strategic plan with these guys. They know our core values, so they're always looking for sustainable materials for us and bringing those ideas to us. So it's a true partnership. So they're delighted when things work out great because it benefits all of us.
And how did you find your designer?
It was friends of friends. It was a network,
Ah,
and it was just a
okay.
networking thing, and it was just kind of reaching out to all my. Actually, it ended up being a gentleman from Gap that I worked at in 2003,
Wow.
and
Okay.
and I was like, hey, I know you were at North Face Kids years ago, 10 years ago. Do you know anyone in the design crew in that space? And so we were off to the races. It was great.
And how did you convince the factory to only make 200 units?
Um, they it was a combination of beautiful negotiating on Jay's part. Number two, we certainly had to pay for that. Like they were like, well, with that amount, we got to make it in the sample room, and that actually costs more. So we did have to pay when we were that low, which we were willing to take the risk. And I think, then once again, it come back to that partnership. Like, hey, you got to believe us. This is what we're in for. Here's
Right.
our reputation. Here, between Jay and I, we got 25 years of outdoor industry experience. We're not just making something up here. So a lot of trust, a lot of respect, and then some risk on our side for sure.
Okay. No, that makes sense, actually. You guys all have the credentials, so a factory would
Right,
probably take a chance on you guys, as
right,
as
right.
opposed to someone who's never done this before.
Yeah, fair.
All right, so your first sale was a T-shirt, and
Uh
then
huh.
you talked about. Do you guys even sell T-shirts?
We sure do.
Oh,
Yeah,
you do.
yeah. We
Okay,
sell
okay. I thought it
t-shirts, and our trucker hats are our crusher. That's our
was.
silent winner. It's amazing.
And you talk a lot about community. This is actually something that a lot of brands have trouble doing. So, what
Mhm.
is your strategy for building this community that you've built?
Yeah, ours is. If you've ever been to, mountain towns are special places. Everyone, you really need to be in love with the town and work hard to be here. It's not easy, both from a resources perspective. It's not easy to start a business here. It's not easy from an expense perspective. Every mountain towns are getting hard. So there's this really secret, passionate bond about mountain towns and Steamboat in particular. And so I think we had that going for us in that
Mhm.
we were this darling story of we were at Smartwell. We didn't stay, we stayed in town. We didn't move. We wanted to give back. Lots of friends, lots of family, our kids. So there was that kind of natural community vibe of Steamboat. But what we really leaned into early on, Steve, was events and just getting out there and not hiding behind the screen and telling it all and the good, bad, and the ugly, and then being at events and literally giving out stickers and high fives. And, hey, you don't want to buy a shirt today? That's fine. Take a sticker, tell your friends about us. And when it comes to snowy times, give us a call because we've got a great jacket for you. And last year, we did 84 days of events,
Wow.
everything from farmers markets to kids adventure games to Warren Miller shows. We partner with Warren Miller and sponsor and give away jackets at every single one of their 100 stops on their national tour every year. So it was the events are what we don't even think of them as selling opportunities. It really is. If we don't sell something that day, that's fine. How many stickers did we hand out? How much fun did we have? How much joy did we spread?
So, were most of the events that you start out with, were they just local and Steamboat?
For the most part, we had our eye on, some bigger things, like kids adventure games, those types of things. We also, and we can talk about this too if you'd like, but we decided, gosh, if we don't, two things, we were all D2C. We were like, let's sell through
Yeah.
our website the whole time, no problem. And we want to own that warm hug with the customer, and we want to own the margin and how we spend those marketing dollars. And we quickly realized, boy, if we don't, we're going to be a grain of sand in the world of the internet if we don't expand out and try wholesale. In addition, there's no better way to build community than these awesome wholesale, retail doors, like these specialty shops you walk into in a little mountain town, or we're in the Bay Area, that you're like, hey, what hiking boots should I buy, and where should I hike, and then where should I get my coffee afterwards? And those are the people that can help spread the love really well for brands and businesses.
Mhm.
So I loaded up my car, drove around the state, hit 74 stops, and kind of came away with 5 purchase orders in that first winter. And so from then on, the wholesale part of the business has been awesome.
Okay, so do you make more wholesale than you do D2C?
No, we're 40% wholesale, 60 D2C, which
Oh,
is
okay.
feels like a great mix for us.
Yeah, no,
Really
that
good.
isn't an awesome mix. Okay, so you just said a
Yeah.
lot of things. Let's break it down here. So you
Yes.
started out with events. How do you justify like the ROI? Like you're traveling all over the place, and you said sometimes you don't sell a thing. Like, is it not an ROI thing? Is it just a faith thing that you get your name out there, good things will happen?
Yeah, it's brand awareness. It's a crowded space. Outdoor apparel is a crowded space. And to the degree that we can set ourselves out apart from not just being another jacket on the rack, and truly, it's a 1-2 punch, right? So, how do we go to an event and do an event in a town where we already show up? So, Jackson Hole, hey, thanks for coming out to this event. Here's a sticker. By the way, we sell at Jackson Hole Sports right there, Mountain Sports right there, and at Skinny Skis. So, pop on in, and then they come in, and that drives traffic to their stores, so our retailers love it too. So that's why I kind of went down the road of these retail partnerships. Is partnering with the retailers on events too goes a really long way, both in, for the good of all of us, but then also to drive revenue and traffic for those retailers.
But can you go to an event and say that you were ROI positive? Is that not how it works? Do you know what I mean?
um
Like, how do you
I
measure
have
the effectiveness?
No, yeah, I measure the effectiveness in a couple of ways. One is a tracker. So I have a counter when I talk to people. So one event, the Outside Festival in Denver, I talked to 370 people last June on one day. And so that's 370 people that didn't know about the brand. It's also the types of events we're at. I mean, we get a lot of clout when we go to an event like the Outside Festival. We're parked next to Fjallraven and the North Face. And seeing our logo everywhere and engagement. So yeah, the ROI on events is truly number of people we talk to. It's web traffic after the fact.
Mhm.
It's we do all sorts of fun activations. We take good old fashioned newsletter signups. And yeah, it's not necessarily how much revenue did we do that day.
Right. Okay. And then walk me through how you got your first wholesale contract. You literally just walked into a store with a bunch of jackets and talked to the owner? Like how does that work?
Well, it was comedy because I went into the first one. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I've been at Smartwool for years, and I knew how the sales process worked enough to be dangerous. I had this little like flyer, thing, and I walk into the first store, and it smells like ski wax. And there's some, snowboarder dudes behind the counter and not really, paying attention. I'm like, hey, my name's Robin, and I have a kid's brand. Do you need jackets? And they kind of look at me like, who are you? What are you doing? And I'm like, okay, this is the right store. So I walked out. I did that in 5 stores. And then finally, the 6th store, I'm like, maybe I should take the jackets in with me. That's a good idea. So I put a jacket over my arm and I walk in. It's the same thing. And I'm like, 5 more stores. I'm like, maybe I should ask for the buyer or the owner or the manager. Like it was I mean, Steve, I had no idea what I was doing. And so finally, the first one, it was in Leadville, and this tiny town at 13,000 feet in Colorado, or 12,000 feet in Colorado. And I walked in, she's like, you know what? People ask for kids stuff all the time. Yeah, can I just buy like a size run of that red puffy? I'm like, yes, you can. And I have them in my car. So I ran out to my car, and it's dumping snow, and I'm putting hang tags on, and I'm writing down what and I walk in, and that was our first sale at wholesale. and they hung them up in the window and sold out, and there you have it.
All right, so
So then
walk
you
me through
call on
how
them
this
again.
works. Like, what are the
Yeah.
terms? So you have like just like a car full of jackets. How
Uh-huh.
like do you have like a minimum order? What are the terms? How does it work?
No.
No.
No, no. When you're fighting, you're fighting. You're trying to get anything you can. So it was, I mean, I went down the road even of like, hey, just give us a shot. Like, let me give you 20 pieces. And then at the end of the season, if you don't sell them, send them all back to me. I don't care. So I would invoice them, they'd pay, and then I would take them back, assuming they weren't worn and torn up, and
Sure.
then, write them a check back at the end of the season. Anything just to get our foot in the door. And I think that goes a long way with partnerships and showing that we care and we believe in our stuff. It was also a reason to check in mid-season. I'd call and say, hey, how are those selling? The reds aren't selling. Great. I'll take the reds back and send you some blues. I mean, we had no other account. So this was all I was doing, is trying to really foster these relationships.
You know why this interview is unique, Robin? Like most of the people I have
Here we
on
go.
here, they're all digital marketers, right? But like what I
Mm,
love about you is this is like grassroots. This is like word of mouth marketing. This is like
yeah.
hard work and grassroots marketing. And it's clearly worked. I was going to say I want to lead up to how you got into REI, but I imagine all these little
Okay.
steps contributed to that, right?
Yep, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I mean, you start to get this credibility, and then we hustle on the PR side too, just sending jackets out to gear guides and gift guides and review articles and that type of thing. And so really sending out and getting our product out there has been huge for us.
Walk me through that
So yeah.
process actually. How do you get the
Yeah.
contact information of all these guides? Do you send them to celebrities and everything too, I would imagine?
I haven't done that. Like
Okay.
in my mind, I'm like, Jimmy Fallon's like the holy grail. If I could get his kids in town hall, that'd be amazing. Not that. I'm not that. I don't know what the right word for that is. Gutsy. I don't know. Like, I don't want to just send that. Who knows? But I feel like, you know, reaching out to Outside Magazine and Powder Magazine and what have you, those are the ones that. And I just google and then I'll read an article like in the New York Times about like, here's the best kids gifts to give this year, and I will look up that writer and their byline, and then I track them down on LinkedIn, I'll email them offline, whatever, and I just tell our story. Honestly, we're so values based, we're so small and nimble and able to adapt that people generally are excited to hear from us.
So at this point, like in the beginning, is it just the four of you guys, or do you have like a team? This sounds like a lot of work, actually. Doing
Yeah.
events,
Yeah.
driving around to stores and getting
Yeah.
wholesale customers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was the three of us, and Joe and Jay have full time jobs elsewhere, and so I get them kind of nights and weekends when they're available. And
Wow.
again,
Okay.
Jay drives all the supply chain. I could never even fathom the skills and the hustle around that and the work around that's huge. But so I kind of manage everything else, and we've since hired a part time customer experience person who's been incredible filling orders and replying to customer service details and getting our kind of working on affiliates and our influencers and that type of thing. But yeah, it's still the tight kind of four of us.
Actually, that was what I was going to ask next. Where's all your inventory stored?
It's about a mile from our house, in a little warehouse just in Steamboat Springs, and we just
Okay.
spent the last week filling all REI orders, all Christie Sports orders. We got all those out the door, so AR is looking great right now. We love it.
So you rented a warehouse nearby and you're doing your own
Yep.
fulfillment.
Correct. Yep.
Nuts. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing, RJ. Okay. So how many wholesale partners do you have now? And I presumably the way you get them is you literally walk in, you talk to the owner, and one
Mhm.
by one get these deals. Is that accurate?
Yep, you're right. Yeah, and when it comes to yes, so yes, we've got, I think we're at about 17 stores around the country right now.
Okay.
REI this fall will be in 4 REIs and online. We'll be in 4 Christie Sports and online, mainly in the West, actually solely in the West now. And yeah, I mean those. I think back to your question about how did we get REI.
Yeah.
It comes down to, we have a great buddy who is in REI for his business. This, as a side note, this entrepreneur small business community, it makes me tear up. It's the most awesome, supportive. group ever. I mean, there are Slack channels and group chats, and the amount that we're just all cheering each other on. And so literally it was, hey, do you want me to introduce you to the kids buyer at REI? That would be awesome. So
Okay.
I, I, I emailed, and, my pitch, it wasn't even a pitch. It was just, me writing the email was, hey, will you give us a shot in 3 doors or just Colorado or something? The last thing we want to do is ship 200 cartons to the New Jersey store and it never moves and everyone's frustrated and it doesn't work and then we're done. And she called immediately and said, that's what drew me to you, is you get it, that we're not shooting for the moon here. Let's just start small and tell your story and see how it goes. And so we were in the Denver flagship last year and online, and this year we're going up to 4, and hopefully next year it's 10, then 50, and then 100 kind of thing. So just proving it all out. We're a slow growth brand and a passion-based brand.
How does one get into these Slack channels, Robin?
Ooh, it's a secret handshake, Steve. It's pretty special. No, it's, I mean, and then everything like Title Nine. I don't know if you know the brand Title Nine. I'm actually wearing we collabed with Title Nine on a women's jacket this fall, so I'm flying out to Title Nine next week. But got involved in their pitch competition last year and pitched at their pitch fest, and now, I mean, what Missy and that team has built is just this community of beautiful women founder brands that get together on a regular basis and share big ideas, dumb ideas, horror stories, wins, help please type scenarios. And so, there's these little microcosms of, again, Slack channels and in-person events that just are so cool
Yeah.
to see.
So you get into REI in a couple of stores as a trial. Did you do anything to make sure that those trials were effective?
Like Sarah Blakely at Spanx, like telling all her friends to go shop at
Yeah,
Nordstrom
yeah.
when she got them in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? What we did was just be good partners and call them and say, what else can we do? Do you need signage? Do you need us to come tell the story? Go clinic the staff. So we'd walk in, and go to bring bagels and donuts to their Monday morning meeting, stand up meeting for the whole staff, and say, here's what town hall is all about. Here's what our jackets do. Here's the features and benefits. We would, partner on events, say, hey, are you having any events? Can we host an event there on our own dime? Can we give away a jacket on our dime? Can we post about you on social media? Just all those. I mean, it sounds so silly, core basics, but we really did them.
You know
And
what's funny about all this, Robin, is most people aren't willing to do this stuff. I mean, it's required, but most people are afraid of the hard work, right?
mm,
They'll hide behind like Facebook ads. Actually, are you guys even running any ads? I didn't check actually.
zero. We've spent zero
Amazing.
dollars on, yeah. I mean, much to our own demise, right? Like we're really slow growth, but I mean, we're growing, 50% every year, but on a base of zero. That's not, So no, all that to say, no, we haven't spent any, and that's what actually our friends and family raise right now is for. Is wow, we've done real well building the
Yeah,
brand, and now let's really try and click over and build the business. We got to pour some money into AIO and SEO and all the core basics we've been not able to spend money on for the last 5 years.
that's amazing. And it's still just well, no, you hired another person and you run a
Yeah.
warehouse. Good Lord. Okay. No, it's an incredible story. Like
Oh,
like I said, this interview is very different from the one. Like here's how a typical interview goes. I'll talk to the guy and they're like, oh yeah, we just poured in like $50,000 a day in meta ads and like we got this, you know. But the thing is, they're chasing like the ROI isn't that great, obviously, in the beginning for them.
right,
And then just
right.
by gathering emails and repeat business, that's how they grow their brand. It's like revenue first in a lot of
Of
cases.
course,
I feel
of
like for
course.
you, it's different. You're building a very solid foundation of community, raving fans,
Mhm.
and then now you're about to take that next step and scale, which is pretty amazing.
You got
Yeah,
it. Yeah, yeah. It's there's pros and cons to all of it, right? But I think one of the big things we learned in our time at Smartwall, which was so beautiful, is get those core values and build your foundation, your mission, vision, values, and live and breathe by those. And we have. And so I think we've done it our way. And now it's time, to your point, to wow, what could we do if we went to the Vale Kids Adventure Games where we talked on my little clicker, we talked to 300 people over the course of 3 days and we got 130 email addresses. What if now, wow, we actually targeted them with meta ads afterwards and XYZ, and really kind of exploded from there. So I think where I get really excited, where our investors are that are in this round are really excited, is to see where we can go from here. What we built with nothing and a lot of hustle, and now what we can build with a lot of strategy and well spent dollars on marketing.
So prior to the raise, like selling apparel like this has got to be cash flow heavy, right? So were you literally just taking out loans to manage the cash flow and everything?
Yeah, and I mean, for good or for bad, doing all this stuff on, with three founders and my car driving to events, there was a little cash outlay with, yeah, it's taken its toll for sure on the car, but there's a little bit of a cash outlay on, events and what we sign up for, but again, honestly, oh, again, it kind of makes me cry, but like the goodwill of people and the goodwill of these, we usually charge 3 grand for people to be at this event, but we love what you're doing. Just come on down. We got a lot of that. And that's where we're so thankful. And we keep going back to those events to pay them back for those types of things. So, yeah, we don't spend a lot of money. We do it all on a dime and we hustle a lot. So but all that to say, man, when we've got to put down 50 grand, 50
Yeah, or
grand
whatever it
in
is. Yeah.
January for something we're not going to see the revenue on until the following January because of terms, it's nasty. It's brutal. It's brutal.
One thing I love about your website, I just wanted to let you know, is I went on and I shopped for a jacket, and I loved this survey that you have. Like, how cold is
Oh,
it? Do your kids, is it wet? Whatever. And then it tells you exactly what to buy.
yeah.
As opposed to some of these other sites, like there's this huge variety. You have no idea what the heck to get. And
Right.
yeah, I love
Right.
that aspect of your site.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we do see a lot of opportunity. I mean, the website is kind of the number one place we need to focus a lot of effort right now, and just, a lot of video content, a lot is needed to explain the features and benefits and why, if it works for kids in the mountains, it's going to work for you in the Bay Area kind of thing.
Oh, one thing I also wanted to ask you, and this is the first time I've heard of this, but a B company is what you guys are, right?
Yeah, so we are a public benefit corporation, which is a legal term, which essentially means no matter what happens to our business, if we get sold, if we, whatever happens, we always will, we're more than just for profit. We're actually for, something bigger than that. And number one is to give back to the communities of Northwest Colorado. And number two is to give back to the planet. And so those kind of foundational reasons for being will always live with Town Hall. Then we went so far as last year to actually get B Corp certified. So we got the certification stamp, and then we've got the legal backing as well.
So I'm not as familiar with B Corps. Like, how do they differ from C Corps in terms of how you operate?
Literally not much at all.
Okay.
Nothing. I mean, it's essentially the same. The same, you got to have the same articles of incorporation, the bylaws, and you have the same annual meetings and the shareholders and all that type of thing. It's truly just, hey, you cannot go against these. Is your company always heading in the direction of these core values?
I see.
And we check that box every year.
Okay. I noticed it was front and center on your site. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's a pretty strong value prop as to,
For sure.
the values of your company.
For
I
sure.
also wanted to ask how you got on How I Built This, because that's like one of the biggest podcasts in the world, right?
That was just a cold call. It's like I just,
Okay.
if it says reach out, I'm gonna reach out. It said, hey, do you have a story to tell? Give a call. So I left a voicemail. I don't know, and they called me back, and I left it in like August, and I didn't tell Joe and Jay, and it was just like whatever. We'll see if this voicemail goes anywhere. And then I got an email from a producer in 8 months later, and then we recorded 3 months after that. I don't know. We have
There
we
must be
have a
something
lot.
about you, Robin. Like,
I don't know if it's me, Steve. I don't know.
I
We
think
just
it
have a
is.
lot of.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have a lot going for us. We're just I don't know. I don't know. I love this brand. I love this community, and it just everything we do comes from the heart. And hopefully, I think people see that. And we're hustling, and that goes a long way too.
Let me ask you this. So you decided to take funding, and
Mm.
with that comes like another can of worms. Is it just friends and family, or are you getting like institutional funding also?
Just friends and family.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I
Yeah.
was about to say, if
Yeah.
you got institutional funding, like that puts pressure for you to light a
Mhm.
fire and like go all out. But okay.
Yeah. No. No. This is just friends and family, and I mean, it's no secret that the outdoor industry is not a lucrative investment opportunity. So this isn't, the folks that we found and the folks that we're seeking out to invest really get the brand and where we're headed. And quite frankly, almost all of them that are investing are actually going to sit on an advisory board because they're just savvy and excited and passionate and want to see us succeed, for the good of us and our families, but then also for this town and the business. So, and their kids. So, it's really neat to see, that it truly is. It's friends and family that are actually going to serve as advisory roles, which is really cool.
That is cool. It sounds like you travel a lot for this business and whatnot, and I know you're very family oriented as well. Uh, how is like your have you integrated your business with your family and make sure you have time for both and your husband's obviously very understanding of all
Oh,
this.
my
Yeah,
husband is our number one biggest fan. He
yeah,
is, the town hall guru. He could explain the jackets inside and out. The family, for good or for bad, town hall has a firm seat at the dining room table every day. They are town hall is part of the family, and so we go through P&Ls together. We've taught the kids about financials. We
nice.
ask them, like, we'll have a bunch of kids are over here jumping on the trampoline. I'm all, hey, can everyone come inside and tell me what colors of jackets you like? Everyone gets it. The family comes and works at the events for fun. They're
That's
getting
awesome.
older now, so they've grown out of the jackets, unfortunately. But it's just such a, I don't I don't have to separate, honestly.
Yeah,
It's really like we're all in this together and we're doing it together, which feels really special.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I can just tell from the website, like the pictures that you've shown, it's like a very tightly knit community that you've
Hmm.
created for your brand, and it's pretty amazing. So for anyone listening out there, where can they go to check out the brands? What events are you going to? Do you have like a schedule where people can come out? Because there are people in mountain towns that
For
listen to this
sure.
podcast. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be doing, the REI Some in the Snow at, the Denver flagship in, I think it's the end of October, October 20 something. So that's down there. We're doing, a Kids on Snow event up at Jackson Hole. Yeah, there's a holiday market in town. So lots of little things. Definitely check out our website, townhallco.com. Get involved. Come, join our newsletter. I send the newsletters, so you're not going to get a lot of them because I don't have time to send 3 a week. And feel free to reply if I send something dumb. But yeah, give us a follow on social. I think, the other thing, it's been interesting from a marketing perspective, like being super transparent with, our community and telling them all the good, bad, and I used to do this rosebud thorn about what we're working on, and I think it's been neat for entrepreneurial folks and business savvy folks to kind of follow along from a, what does it take to start this business? How does this go? What is she working on? So we've been talking about the business, and town hall and the products, but then also the business itself. So if you want to learn more about business, give us a follow on social as well on Insta. We're Town Hall CO.
Do you guys have like a YouTube channel or a short form video channel?
We
Not
don't.
yet.
It's on the list. It's on the
Dude,
list. I
Robin,
mean,
you'd be
it's.
incredible at it. Incredible. You should definitely do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm taking cues from you, my friend. It's pretty impressive to watch you do your magic. It's cool.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Robin. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's good to get back in
Thanks for
touch.
having us. Yeah, you too. Take care, Steve.